Very good morning to all of you, my friends. Welcome back. I hope you guys are doing good. So, in the previous two sessions, we discussed the concepts of standard costing. So, let me give you a brief about what all we discussed in standard costing. When talking about standard costing, again, we can say we call it as variance analysis also, wherein we do calculate the variances and further why these variances, what are the reasons, who are the person behind these variances, that also standard costing techniques help us to figure out. So we can say it's just like a diagnostic report of the company wherein we locate the problem that, okay, here is the problem, and then management do take corrective actions accordingly. So herein we discussed in the last two classes, we discussed material and labor variances. So when talking about material variance, we discussed material cost variance, that is standard quantity into standard price minus actual quantity into actual price. Two parts further, material price variance when talking about material price variance, it is standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. Again, this actual quantity is the key. Why we are taking actual quantity, I have already discussed in detail. Thereafter, we discussed material usage variance, wherein it is standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. Again, two parts, material mix variance and material yield variance. When talking about material mix variance, it is standard mix minus actual quantity into standard price. And when talking about yield variance, it is standard quantity minus standard mix into standard price. So these were the concepts what we discussed, and these are the formulas. As I said again, there are no formulas in costing. The point is that you should focus on the concepts. So as far as the concepts behind these formulas, I have already discussed in previous two sessions. So this is all what about material variance. Further, when talking about material variance, the basis of comparison is output. The output should be same. If the output is not same, you have to prepare revised standard and then you have to calculate the variances. Again, don't compare the inputs. Always compare the output. If the output is same, go ahead. If the output is not same, we have to prepare revised standard and then we can calculate the variances. I hope you guys are thorough with material variance. Good morning, Sunil. Good morning, Almas. Good morning, Pooja. Good morning, Rohan. Good morning, everyone. So this is all what we discussed about material variance. Thereafter, we started with labor variances also, wherein we first discussed labor variance, labor cost variance. The concept of material and labor variance is more or less same only. So instead of quantity, we'll be using standard hours. Instead of price, we will be using rate. So standard hours into rate. So earlier we were using standard quantity into standard price. So here it will be standard hours into standard rate minus actual hours into actual rate. Thereafter, we discuss labor rate variance, just like material price variance, wherein it is standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours. Thereafter, we discuss labor time variance, wherein we discussed it is standard hours minus actual hours into standard rate. If it is idle time variance, actual hour paid if it is idle time, then idle time variance, it is idle hours into standard rate. Thereafter, we will calculate labor mix variance, wherein it is standard mix minus actual hour work into standard rate, and herein also standard hours minus standard mix into standard rate. So these were the concepts or formulas, we can say, what we have discussed. Okay, let me check. Priyanshi, good morning. Good morning, Tanu. I'll be discussing few questions also, don't worry. So this is all what we discussed in labor variances. So material and labor are over. Still, we have to discuss two more parts, that is fixed and variable overhead. As far as sales variance is concerned, it's not a part of syllabus. So I gave you guys homework in the previous session. I hope you guys are thorough with the questions, or I hope you guys have completed your homework. Anyone having any doubts or queries in material or labor variances, you guys can please ask me. Priyanshi, can you please mention the question number? I hope you guys have completed the homework, every one of you. Rohan, I have already discussed illustration number 4 in the previous session. Please check illustration number 4. I have already discussed. Yes, Rohan. So fine. There is a query from Priyanshi for illustration number 6. So let's start with illustration number 6 first. So I'm discussing illustration number 6 from study material. I request you guys to please open your study material, page number 13.29. I'm discussing illustration number 6 now. So let's start with illustration number 6 from the study material. So the standard output of a product EXE is 25 units per hour. I repeat again, the standard output of a product EXE is 25 units per hour in manufacturing department of a company employing 100 workers. So the language says that the 100 workers are working for an hour to manufacture 25 units of product EXE. So it means so they are saying 100 workers are working for an hour to manufacture 25 units of EXE. So we can easily calculate the hours per unit. So 100 workers into 1 hour divided by 25 units. So it means per unit how many hours? 4 hours. So here in 4 hours are required to manufacture 1 units of product EXE, and the wage rate is also given, that is rupees 6 per hour. So this is illustration number 6. So herein the budget is given, wherein standard hours, hours and rate. So 4 hours are required to manufacture 1 unit, and the amount of wages they are paying is rupees 6 per hour. So this is what the budgeted data given in the question. Now, in a 42 hours week, the department manufactured 1040 units. So when talking about the actual data, they manufactured 1040 units. Actually, they manufactured 1040 units despite 5% of the time paid being lost due to an abnormal reason. So they are talking about the idle hours. That is 5% is my idle hours. The hourly wages actually paid were 6.2, 6 and 5.7 respectively to 10, 30 and 60 workers. So the breakup of 100 workers is given, wherein the wages paid is given, that is for 10 workers it is 6 rupees 20 paisa. For 30 workers it is 6 rupees, and for 60 workers it is 5.7 per hour respectively. So herein the data is given for 42 hours week. So 42 into 10 workers, 420 hours. For 420 hours, we paid how much? For 420 hours, we paid 6 rupees 20 paisa. Further, for 42 into 30, 42 hours into 30 workers, that is for 1260 hours, we paid 6 rupees. And 42 hours into 60 workers, that is for 2520 hours, we paid how much? 5 rupees 70 paisa. So actually we took 4200 hours for 1040 units, and the total amount also we will calculate. So this is the actual data. Further, the details of idle hours are also given in the question. So herein, see 5% are my idle hours. So we can easily calculate actual hours worked. So 5% are my idle time. It means 420 into 5%. That is 21 in first case. 1260 into 5%. 63 in the second case. And 2520 into 5%. 126 in the third case. So these are my idle hours. So my actual hours work will be 2394. 1197. So these are my actual hours worked. So now my master chart is, okay, now we have to calculate revised standard. So since the budgeted data is given for 1 unit of output, so we have to prepare revised standard. So 1 unit 4 hours. So for 1040 units, it should take 4160 hours. Into the rate is 6. So it should be 24,960. So this is my master chart and working. Now I can easily calculate all the variances. Anyone having any doubts in this part? So where exactly you got stuck, Priyanshi? Can you please tell me? I hope this is clear to you. Yes, Priyanshi, tell me. Any doubts? Where exactly the things went wrong, Priyanshi? See, once this is done, you can solve any question. So let's calculate the labor cost variance. So it is 24,960 minus 24,528. So this will be 432 adverse. Next is rate variance. Standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours. So this will be 6 minus 6.2 into my actual hours paid, that is 420. 6 minus 6 into 1260 and 6 minus 5.7 into 2520. So this will be 84 adverse. This will be 756 favorable. Since we are not calculating material mix, so better calculate idle time variance also. So the total idle time is how much? So idle hours into standard rate, that is 6. So this will be 1260 adverse. So here and now, when talking about the labor efficiency variance or time variance, since we have removed the effect of idle hours, so this will be calculated using actual hours worked. So labor efficiency or time variance. So the work was supposed to be completed in 4160 hours, but we actually took 3990 hours only into the standard rate, that is 6. Thank you. Yes, yes, guys. I wrote it by mistake. So 1020. Let's calculate the total also of these three to cross verify the things. So 672 1020 minus 1260. So 432 favorable tallies. Sorry, I wrote it by mistake. So this is the way you guys have to solve the question. If you guys have any doubts or any queries, you guys can please post again. The presentation is the key, and how to approach the question, that is the key. Again, in study material, for one question, different types of solutions are given. So I would like to suggest you that just solve all the question with this pattern only. It will help you to solve the question easily. Anyways, so giving you 2 to 3 minutes time to copy everything. In the meanwhile, those who have any doubts or queries, you guys can please post your queries. I hope it is clear now, Priyanshi. Priyanshi, any doubts? So when talking about idle hours, $420 into 5%, 1260 into 5%, 2520 into 5%. This is how I got idle hours. Yes, Richa, tell me. Admin sir, can you please unmute Richa? Yes, Richa, tell me. Yes, Richa.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
Very good morning, Richa. Tell me.
सर मुझे पूरा क्वेश्चन फिर से समझना है।
क्या कह रहे हैं?
सर मुझे पूरा क्वेश्चन फिर से समझना है।
what went wrong? आप क्या इशू आ रहा है इस क्वेश्चन में?
सर मतलब मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कैलकुलेशन फिर से।
Okay. You were there in the previous class. You have joined. You have checked all my sessions, previously recorded sessions.
नो सर, मैं अभी देख रही हूँ, मतलब अभी मैं पूरा पहुँच नहीं पाई हूँ।
अच्छा, you have not started the sessions. So you have
Yes,
gone through the
sir.
previous 2 sessions of standard costing?
नहीं सर, स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग का तो नहीं लिया है, लेकिन हाँ मैं प्रीवियस देख रही हूँ।
नहीं, अगर आप एक्चुअली पुराने सेशन, अगर आप मेरे स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग के लास्ट 2 सेशंस चेक करेंगे तभी आपको एक क्वेश्चन समझ में आएगा. If you are not thorough with the concept, you won't be able to understand the question.
यस सर।
Do you have any idea about the concepts of standard costing?
नो
Yes, Rich.
सर।
Then you won't be able to understand anything in labor variance specifically or material variance, because I have taken the concepts in detail in the previous 2 sessions. So first you have to go through the previous 2 sessions, then only you will be able to understand. Okay.
ओके सर।
So you can wait for sometimes because sometime, because I'll be starting with fixed and variable overhead, that you will be able to understand thoroughly. Don't worry.
ओके सर।
Okay, so wait for some time. Just check what I'm teaching right now. After half an hour or so, I'll be starting with fixed and variable overhead. You'll be able to understand. Don't worry, because these concepts I have already discussed in detail previously. Okay.
ओके सर।
Yeah. Okay, so Priyanshi, I hope it is clear now. Perfect. Any doubts, Priyanshi, in this question? Okay, Rohan, sir, how come 3990 in efficiency variance? So see, I told you guys in the last session also, idle hours we can put up here also and at the third level also. So it's up to us. If we are putting idle hours here, then the time variance or efficiency variance will be calculated using actual hours worked rather than hours paid. So the work was supposed to be completed in 4160 hours, but we actually took 3990 hours. So we can say it is a favorable thing. Into 6, that is my standard rate. I hope, Rohan, it is clear now. It's always abnormal, Rohan. Okay, so one more query. Sunil Kumar. Sunil Kumar, any doubts? Sunil, it is given in the question that 5% are my idle hours. Yes, Sunil. It's given in the question. I'm reading the question for your reference, Sunil. See, it is given in the question that in a 42 hours week, the department produced 1040 units of EXC despite 5% of the time paid being lost due to abnormal reasons. So 5%, I mean the wages for the hours what we are paying, 5% we are paying for the idle hours, that is due to abnormal reasons. So of these are paid, 5% are my idle hours for which, okay, even we are paying them, but they are not working. So 5% are my idle time or idle hours. So 420 into 5%, 1260 into 5%, 2520 into 5%. These are my idle hours. So actual are paid minus idle hours, we will get actual hours worked. I hope it is clear. So anyone else with any doubts or queries in this question, you guys can please post your queries. I'm done with this question. Those who want to copy the solution can please copy. Again, guys, this master chart is the key. Read the question carefully, thoroughly. Write what is the budget, write what is the actual. Just check if these two figures are comparable or not. Just like in material labor also, the basis of comparison is output. So check the output. So budgeted data is given for 1 unit, actual data is given for 1040 units. So these two figures are not comparable. So we have to prepare revised standard. So once the revised standard is ready, then we can start calculating the variances. Yes, the treatment will be same, Pooja. Rohan, a question from my side. What is rate variance? Very simple. See, you tell me, since we are paying for this much of hours, why will be calculating rate as per these hours? Rate variance क्या बोलता है कि rate की वजह से क्या deviation आया और हमने किस कितने hours पे payment किया? These hours we have actually, for these hours we are actually paying. So why will be taking actual hours work? Because ये hours के basis पे तो we are not paying. We are paying on the basis of these hours only. So the labor rate variance will always be calculated on the basis of actual hours paid, not actual hours worked, Rohan. I didn't said like this. Rate variance will always be calculated on the basis of actual hours paid. So earlier in the previous question, what we discussed, if there are 2 to 3 types of labor, then we can either put the idle time variance here or at the third level wherein we can, change the mix and yield variance. But if there are no variety of workers, there is only one type of worker, you can put up the idle time variance here only. I didn't mention that the rate variance will be calculated using actual hours worked. I hope it is clear, Rohan. Since we are paying for this much of hours, so the variance should be calculated on the basis of these hours only rather than actual hours worked. Wait for some time, Tanu. Pooja, hopefully your query is resolved. Rohan, hopefully your query is resolved. Priyanshi, Sunil Kumar, I hope your queries are resolved now. So giving you 2 minutes time to copy everything, please. This is the setup time, Rohan. It's not idle time or abnormal, or it is due to abnormal reason. This is the setup time, and it happens in every case and scenario. So let me complete the illustration first, Tanu, and then I'll proceed for the practical problem. So let's proceed with illustration number 8 first. There is one query. There is a query from one of the student, and it's a very good question. So let's start with illustration number 8. Then we'll proceed for the practical problems. So illustration number 8, page number 13.33. So the standard labor employment and the actual labor engaged in a week for a job are as under, wherein the details are given for skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled worker, wherein the standard number of workers in the gang is given, the actual number of workers employed is given, the standard wage rate per hour is given, actual wage rate per hour is given. Now, during the 40 hours working week, so these workers are working for 40 hours in a week. So during the 40 hours working week, the gang produce 1800 standard labor hours of work. So herein, in this question, the output is not given in units. Herein, the output is given in hours. See, read the last line of the question, that during the 40 hours working week, the gang produce 1800 standard labor hours of work. It means the output is 1800 hours. You are required to calculate all the labor variances. So let's start with this question. It's a very good question. Illustration number 8. There are no idle hours in this question, Priyanshi. So there are three types of worker: skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled. So standard number of workers is 32 into 40 hours a week. So this will be 1280. Semi-skilled, it is 12 into 40. So that will be 480. And there are only 6 unskilled workers. So 6 into 40, that is it's 2000. When talking about the rate, it is 3, 2, and 1. So actual number of workers are 28 for skill. So 28 into 40, this will be 1120. 18 into 40. So this will be 720. And 4 into 40, this will be 160. So again, 2000 hours, but the output is only 1800 hours. Even though they work for 2000 hours, but the output is only 1800 hours. Further, the wage rate is given, that is 4, 3, and 2. So 4480, 2160, and 320. So it will be 6960. So guys, very important. This is the budgeted data. This is the actual data. Now here in the budgeted output is of 2000 hours. See, the budgeted output is of 2000 hours, wherein the actual output is, even though they work for 2000 hours, but they were able to produce only 1800 hours of output. So herein, the budgeted output and actual output are not same, because the budgeted data is given for 2000 hours of output and actual data is given for only 1800 hours of output. So we have to prepare revised standard. So for skilled, it will be 1280 hours for 2000 hours of output. So for 1800 of hours of output, how much? So 1280 for 2000 hours of output. So for 1800 hours of output, how much? 1152. Similarly, for semi-skilled also, 480 for 2000 hours of output. So for 1800 hours of output, how much? This will be 432. 240 for 2000 hours of output. So for 1800 of hours of output, how much? So this will be 216. So herein we have calculated the hours 1152, 432, and 216. This will be 321. Again, guys, very important in this question, the output is not given in units, it's given in hours. So this is my master chart. If you guys have any doubts now, you guys can please post your queries. Yes, I know, Priyanshi. Thank you so much, Sunil Kumar, for your support. So I hope this part is clear to all. Anyone having any doubts or queries in this part, you guys can please post. Again, this chart is the key. Once you are done with this, you can solve any variance. So let's start with labor cost variance. So this will be 2424 adverse. We can write the formula also, standard R into standard rate minus actual R into actual rate. Next is labor rate variance. Standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours. So standard rate is 3, 2, and 1. Actual rate is 4, 3, and 2 into 1120, 720, and 160. So this will be 1120 adverse. This will be 720 adverse. And this will be 160 adverse. Total will be 2000 adverse. Next is labor time, or we can say efficiency variance. So again, the formula is very simple. We have discussed also standard hours, that is we should have taken this much of hours, but the hours we actually took is this much into the standard rate. Again, we will not be taking the actual rate because as I've discussed also, actual rate has, when talking about this part, actual rate is not important. It's only the standard rate. In material also I've discussed, we are taking the standard price, not actual price, because As I said, that the production manager has nothing to do with the purchase manager in materials. Similarly, in the labor, also the same thing. So herein, it is 1152 minus 1120 into 3, 432 minus 720 into 2, and 216 minus 160 into 1. So this will be 96 favorable. This will be 576 adverse. This will be 56 favorable. This will be 424 adverse. See, Tanu, there are total 32 workers and they are working for 40 hours in a week. So 32 into 40, this will be 1280. Similarly, 12 into 40, that is 480. And lastly, 6 into 40, that is 240. I hope it is clear, Tanu. When talking about the labor mix variance, standard mix minus actual hours into standard rate. Now 2000 should be in the ratio of this one, this much. So 2000 का ratio ये होना चाहिए, but when talking about the actual ratio, it is 1120, 720 and 160. So here no need to distribute because the total of this is also 2000. So 2000 should be in the ratio of 1280, 480 and 240. But the actual mix of 2000 is 1120, 720 and 160 into my standard rate, that is 3, 2 and 1. Again, when talking about yield variance, or we can say sub efficiency, these 18 hours units, these 18 hours of the work should be completed in only 1800 hours. But we actually consume 2000 hours into my rate. Again, the rate will be the weighted average, that is 4536 divided by 1800. So this is the way you guys have to solve the question. If you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can please post. I'm done with the solution. So Priyanshi, what went wrong in this question? Yes, Priyanshi. Okay, no worries. I request you guys to please copy the solution. Okay, Priyanshi. Tanu, now your query, just give me some time. I need to read this. I'll be reading this question and then I'll be addressing your query either in this session or in the next session. So give me some time, Tanu. But don't worry, I'll be discussing your query also. Let me check the question. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? So we are done with material and labor variances. We have done all the problems. So still, if you guys have any doubts or queries, else we will start with fixed overhead variances. Any queries, guys? So now let's start with the next part of the chapter, that is fixed overhead and variable overhead variances. So now, Richa, you'll be able to understand the concept. So do pay attention. I mean, you'll be able to understand the concepts of fixed and variable overhead variance. As far as material and labor, they are, I mean, like more or less same. So just like material and labor, fixed and variable overhead concepts are more or less same. So let's start with fixed overhead variances now. I'll be discussing these variances again and the concept behind the formulas that are given in study material with the help of an example. So guys, always remember, when you find the question on fixed overhead variance, when you find a question on fixed overhead variance, you have to convert it into the tabular form, that is budget and actual. Generally, the question is given in this format only, but if the question is given in the word form or a paragraph form, whatever it is, try to convert it into tabular form. So let's say the budgeted days are given 25 and 26. Let's say the hours are given 30,000 and 33,000. Let's say the units are given 30,000 and 32,500. And fixed overheads are given 45,000 and 50,000. In maximum cases, you will find the question in this format only. But if by any chance, if the question is not in this format, you have to convert it into this format. If the question is given in a paragraph form or in a problematic form, then try to convert the question in this format. So the first thing what we will be calculating in fixed overhead is fixed overhead cost variance. Fixed overhead cost variance. So when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, it is nothing but under or over absorption of overhead. Under absorption or over absorption of overhead. So now, when talking about under or over absorption of overhead, it is already covered in overhead chapter overheads. So I hope you guys are thorough with overheads. So now let's calculate the fixed overhead cost variance. So 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. $45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So the absorption rate will be how much? 1.5. 45,000 divided by 30,000. So the absorption rate will be 1.5. We have to apply the absorption rate to the actual units to calculate the absorbed overhead. This is what we have covered in overheads also. So the rate will be 1.5. We have to apply it to the actual production, that is 32,500 units, to calculate the absorbed overheads. In simple terms, if you don't want to make it complicated, very simple. 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? Minus my actual fixed overhead, that is 50,000. So ultimately it is under or over absorption of overhead. So 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much should be my overheads? 48,750. And my actual overheads are 50,000. So 48,750 is what? My absorbed overheads. This is my absorbed overheads minus actual overhead. So 1250 adverse. सीधी और आसान भाषा में 45,000 ओवरहेड्स होता है 30,000 यूनिट्स पे, तो 32,500 पे कितना होना चाहिए था? 48,750. Whereas my actual overheads are how much? 50,000. 1250 extra, so we call it as adverse. Can you guys tell me it is under absorption or over absorption? Waiting for your answer. This is what you have learned in overheads class also. Can you guys tell me it is under absorption or over absorption? Whatever your opinion, do post. Waiting for your answers, everyone. It is under absorption or over absorption? So I've got answer from Tanu, Prem Kumar. Rest all waiting for your answers. Very good, Mohammed Parvez. Good to see you after a long time. You're not regular in these sessions. Sunil Kumar, I've got your answer. Let me complete first. Let me check everybody's answer. So rest all waiting for your answers. Almas, Pooja. Okay, very good. Yes, Rohan, Meenu, Neeraj. That's great, Mr. Parvez. Rohan, it is under absorption or over absorption? Yes, Sunil Kumar. So see guys, these are my absorbed overheads. And absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads. So we can say overheads are under absorbed. So it is under absorption of overhead. So Priyanshi, please recheck your concepts. And one more student. Sunil Kumar and Priyanshi, please recheck your concepts. Anyways, guys. So anyways, fixed overhead has nothing to do with this. So fixed overhead cost variance, very simple. 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 48,750. Minus my actual overheads are how much? 50,000. So this will be 1250 adverse. Next is fixed overhead. Expenditure variance. When talking about expenditure variance, very simple, since fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production. So straight away, expenditure variance means kitna expenditure karna chahiye tha? 45,000. But how much is my actual expenditure? 50,000. This is my budgeted expense. This is my actual expense. So how much extra? 5,000 extra. So here in it will be 5,000 adverse. So we are done with cost variance and expenditure variance. If you guys have any doubts in these two parts, you guys can please post your queries. I repeat again, when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, 45,000 on 30,000 units. So on 32,500 units, how much? 48,750. My minus my actual overheads are 50,000. So 1250 extra adverse. When talking about expenditure variance, very simple, guys. 45,000 are my budgeted fixed overhead, whereas my actual fixed overheads are 50,000. So 5,000 adverse. Since fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production, so we will not revise it. Straight away, 45,000 kharch hona chahiye tha as per the budget, and the actual expenditures are 50,000, so 5,000 extra, so that is adverse. Next is fixed overhead. Volume variance. When talking about volume, this is the variance due to change in volume. The variance due to change in volume. Volume means what? Units. This is the variance due to change in the number of units manufactured. So very simple, guys. Again, fixed overhead volume variance, that is the variance due to change in units. So how much units we should have manufactured? Very simple, 30,000 units we should have manufactured. But the units actually manufactured are how much? 32,500. We were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we actually manufactured 32,500 units. 2,500 units extra we manufactured. So it's a good sign for the company. Since we were having a target to manufacture only 30,000 units, but we actually manufactured 32,500 units. So 2,500 units extra we manufactured. So it's a good sign for the company. Herein into the standard rate, very important, guys. Herein we'll be taking the standard rate only. Now, since these are the units, so we'll be taking the rate per unit. So rate per unit will be 45,000 minus 30,000. So it will be 1.5 per unit. How come I got this rate? So this is the way how I got this rate, 45,000 rupees divided by 30,000 units. So here it will be 3750 favorable. Again, guys, very important. The concepts are different from material and labor. So do pay attention. I repeat again, just focus on the language that we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we did a great job and we actually manufactured 32,500 units, 2,500 extra units we manufactured. So it's a good sign for the company. So that's why it will be favorable. So we are done with volume and expenditure and cost variance. Again, 5,000 adverse, 3,750 favorable. Net will be 1,250 adverse. So the total will match. Expenditure work plus volume will be cost. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can please post. Richa, I hope you are thorough with this part. Since you are a new joinee, so I hope you are thorough with this part, Richa. Yes, Richa. Great. So I repeat again, guys, for the students who have once again. So I'm repeating again. So fixed overhead cost variance, 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 48,750. Minus my actual overheads are 50,000. So 1,250 extra. It is what? 1,250 are my extra overheads. So that will be adverse. When talking about expenditure variance, 45,000 are my budgeted fixed overhead, whereas my actual fixed overheads are 50,000. 5,000 extra cost. So that's why it will be adverse. When talking about volume variance, it talks about units. Yes, I'm repeating, Rohan. When talking about volume variance, it talks about units. That is the variance due to change in volume. Units की वजह से कितना variance आया. So herein, 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture, but we actually manufactured 32,500 units. We did a great job. So it's a good sign for the company. So 2,500 units extra we manufactured. Since it is units, so we'll be taking the rate per unit. So 45,000 are my overheads divided by my 30,000 units. So we will get the rate per unit, that is 1.5 per unit. So herein it will be 3,750 favorable. That favorable is the key because we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we did a great job and we actually manufactured above our capacity, that is 2,500 units extra we manufactured. Next is fixed overhead calendar variance. I hope it is clear, Rohan. Rohan, I hope it is clear. Great. Now, when talking about fixed overhead calendar variance, again, it talks about days. Say volume talks about what? Units. So calendar variance talks about what? Days. Again, guys, very important. Do pay attention to the language what I'm using. We were requested to work for 25 days. We were supposed to work for 25 days in a month. But in that month, we actually work for 26 days. That is 1 day extra we work. So again, it's a good sign for the company. We set up the target that we will work for 25 days in a month, but we actually work for 26 days in a month. 1 day extra we work. So it's a good sign for the company. So the variance will be favorable. So we were supposed to work for 25 days in a month, but we actually work for 26 days. So 1 day extra we worked. Since it is day, so we will be taking the rate per day. That is 45,000 divided by 25 days. Yes, Tanu. So it's 1800, Sunil. Yes, thank you. So this will be 1800 favorable. Since we manufactured extra units, so it's a good sign for the company. So that's why the variance was favorable. Herein in calendar variance also, we were supposed to work for 25 days only, but we actually work for 26 days. 1 day extra we work. Forget about efficiency or inefficiency. Just think straight away from days perspective that you were supposed to work for 25 days, but you did a great job and you work for 1 day extra. So it's a good sign for the company. So that will so the variance will be favorable. So units are done, days are done. Now it's the turn for hours. So it's fixed overhead capacity variance. When talking about capacity, it talks about hours. Just give me a minute, guys. Now, next is fixed overhead capacity variance. So when talking about capacity, it talks about hours. Now, if the question is straight away, we can say that we have the capacity to work for 30,000 hours, but we actually work for 33,000 hours. But herein, see, this will not be the capacity variance because 30,000 hours we were supposed to work in 25 days, but we actually work for 26 days. So, हमारा revised capacity calculate करेंगे and then we will compare it with actual hours. So, I'm writing the explanation also for your reference that we were supposed to work for how many hours? 30,000 hours नहीं लेंगे. Basically, we were supposed to work for 30,000 hours in 25 days. So in 26 days, we were supposed to work for how many hours? 31,200 hours. we were supposed to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. However, we worked for 33,000 hours. In 26 days, we were supposed to work for, in 26 days, we were supposed to work for 31,200 hours. So we were supposed to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. However, we work for 33,000 hours. It means वो 26 दिनों में हमने कितना एक्स्ट्रा काम किया? 1800 hours we worked above our capacity. Therefore, we can say we work for 1800 hours above our capacity. So we were supposed to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. However, we work for 33,000 hours. It means, therefore, we can say that we work 1,800 hours above our capacity. So we can say 1,800 hours is the work, is 1,800 hours basically we worked extra above our capacity. 1,800 hours we worked above our capacity. हमारी capacity थी to work for 31,200 hours, but we actually worked for 33,000 hours in 26 days. So 1,800 we worked above our capacity. So it's a good sign for the company. Since it is hours, so we'll be taking the rate per hour, that is 45,000 divided by 30,000 hours. So it will be 1.5 per hour. So it will be 2,700 favorable. Again, why it is favorable? Just do pay attention, guys, that we have the capacity to work for how many hours? 31,200 hours in 26 days. हमें काम करना चाहिए था 31,200 hours in 26 days. But in these 26 days, we worked above our capacity. We actually worked for 33,000 hours. So 1,800 hours we worked above our capacity into the rate, that is 1.5 per hour. So this will be 2,700 favorable. How come I got this rate? Anyone having any doubts? I've written the explanation also. Anyone having any doubts or queries? This variance is the key. Most of the students make mistake in this variance, that adverse hoga ya favorable hoga. So herein we have worked above our capacity. So a query from Richa sir, if our actual days are 24 and our budgeted days are 25. So Richa, see, if we were supposed to work for 25 days and if we work for 24 days, it means one day less we worked. So it is adverse for the company. First thing. Second question, sir, if the budgeted units are 30,000 and the actual units are 30,200, आपको 30,000 units बनाने चाहिए थे और आपने 30,200 units बनाए. So when talking about the volume part, it is a favorable sign for the company. I hope it is clear. So if it is budgeted days are 25 and actual days are 24, it is unfavorable, or we can say adverse. And if budgeted units are 30,000 and actual units are 30,200, so we can say, yes, the units extra we manufacture. So it's a good sign for the company. So it's favorable. I hope it is clear, Richa. Yes, Rohan, we will ignore the minus and plus sign. Just focus on the concept. So for your understanding only, I have written all this language. So I repeat again, we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. But we actually work for how many hours? 33,000 hours in these 26 days. That is 800 hours extra. That is 1800 hours we worked above our capacity. So this is all what about capacity variance. Now let's start with the last part. Fixed overhead efficiency variance. So when talking about efficiency की काम कितने घंटे में होना चाहिए था और कितने घंटे में किया. So straight away the same rule. So 30,000 units should be completed in 30,000 hours as per our budget. It means one unit should be completed in how many hours? 1 hour. Actually, we manufactured how many units? 32,500 units we manufactured. So it should be completed in 32,500 hours. एक यूनिट बनाने में 1 घंटा लगना चाहिए. So 32,500 units, how much hours we should have taken? 32,500 hours. But to manufacture these 32,500 units, actual hours we consumed is how much? 33,000 hours. So जो काम 32,500 hours में होना चाहिए था, we completed in 33,000 hours. 500 hours is what my inefficiency. 500 hours, we can say it is what? Inefficiency. Since it is hours, so we will be taking the rate per hour. So this will be 750 adverse. So again, guys, ignore the plus minus sign. Just pay attention to the language what I have used. So very important, guys, 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. One unit should not take more than 1 hour. So the actual production is how much? Actual production is 32,500 units. So 32,500 units बनाने के लिए कितने hours लगने चाहिए थे? 32,500 hours only. But to manufacture these 32,500 units, we actually consume 33,000 hours. So जो काम 32,500 hours में होना चाहिए था, we actually took 33,000 hours. So 500 hours is my inefficiency. So 500 hours into 1.5. So this variance will be adverse. So this is all what about fixed overhead variance. If you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can please post. It's a bit lengthy as compared to the other variances. So if you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can please post. Waiting for your queries, guys. I have written the explanation also, especially students find trouble in this part. So I have written the explanation also. So waiting for your queries, guys. I'll give you time to copy everything. Yes, Rohan, Priyanshi, any doubts? Tanu, any doubts? Mr. Parvez, Prem Kumar, Meenu, Richa. I hope this part is clear to you, Richa. Pooja, Neeraj, Sneha, Priyanshi. Okay, so 1.5 of units or R, Priyanshi. So see, Priyanshi, herein we have calculated hours. See, the work was supposed to be completed in, see, I have written hours. So we'll be taking the rate per hour. If it is units, we'll be taking the rate per unit. If it is days, we'll be taking the rate per day. Yes, Richa, everything is clear. Any doubts? Miss Richa, Tanu Vishwakarma sir, fixed overhead efficiency variance. So very simple, Tanu, 30,000 units should take 30,000 hours. This was the target given by the company. It means one unit should be completed in 1 hour. So the actual production is 32,500 units. So actual production is 32,500 units. So it should be completed in how many hours? 32,500 hours. But to manufacture these 32,500 units, we actually took 33,000 hours. 500 hours we took extra. So it's what my inefficiency. So 500 hours into the rate per hour, it is 1.5. So this will be 750 adverse. So I'm done with the explanation. I'm giving you time to copy everything. Again, while you are copying these concepts in the notebook, do write your comments or notes in the notebook that this is what I have understood. So while you are revising, it will help you a lot. You can't check the recorded sessions again and again. So better prepare your notes and write what you have understood so that it will help you while revising. Yes, Rohan, tell me. Admit.
सर इन फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड कैलेंडर वेरिएंस 25 दिन में काम होना चाहिए था मगर 26
No,
दिन
no, 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 no. We were supposed to see. Forget about inefficiency. कि efficiently किया या inefficiently किया. Think individually that when you were supposed to work for 25 days, but we actually work for 26 days. My worker were supposed to work for 25 days, but they did a fabulous job and they worked 1 day extra. So it's a good sign for the company as far as calendar is concerned. They work extra 1 day. So it's a good sign for the company. So that's why it is favorable. I hope it is clear, Rohan.
ओके सर
I think this is what the problem you are asking, right?
यस सर
Again, capacity also the same thing. I've written the explanation also that we were supposed to work for only 31,200 hours in 26 days. But in these 26 days, instead of 31,200 hours, we work for 33,000 hours. That is 1,800 hours I worked above my capacity. So that's why this variance is favorable. Ab efficiency, inefficiency, chhod dijiye in capacity and calendar variance. Efficiency variance we have calculated separately. I hope, Rohan, it is clear.
यस सर
I request you guys giving you 5 to 7 minutes time to copy everything. Do write your notes in your notebook that this is what I have understood from these variances. Again, it's practically not possible to check the recorded session every time. Again, as I said, there are no formulas in standard costing. So better focus on the concepts and try to memorize the concepts. Write the concepts in notebook and then approach the solution. Trust me, you'll be able to solve the question in minutes. This is the easiest chapter of the syllabus. It's bonus marks if you are thorough with the concepts. But if you try to memorize the formula, I mean, if the question is straight away, you can apply. But if the question is not straight away, then I mean, you won't be able to solve the question. So prepare your notes, giving you 5 to 7 minutes time, copy everything, prepare your notes, understand. If you have any difficulty, please post your query. I'll be just summing up the things again. So giving you 5 to 7 minutes time, please complete. So let's sum up what we have discussed till now in fixed overhead variance. So when talking about cost variance, straight away it is under or over absorption of overhead, wherein 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 48,750. Whereas my actual overheads are 50,000. So 1,250 extra, that is adverse for the company. When talking about expenditure variance, straight away, budgeted fixed overhead minus actual fixed overhead. So it is 5,000 extra overhead. So that is adverse. Now, volume variance, volume talks about units. We were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we actually manufactured 32,500 units. 2,500 units extra we manufactured. It's a good sign for the company. So that's why it will be favorable. And since it is units, so we'll be taking the rate per unit, that is 45,000 divided by 30,000. So that will be 45,000 divided by 30,000 units. So the rate per unit will be 1.5. So this variance will be favorable because we manufactured extra units. In calendar variance, it talks about days. So we were supposed to work for 25 days, but we actually worked for 26 days. 1 day extra we worked. It's a good sign for the company. Into the rate per day, since it is days, so we'll be taking the rate per day. So 45,000 divided by 25 days, so 1,800 favorable. Again, since we worked extra, so it's a good sign for the company. So that's why this variance will be favorable. When talking about the next variance, capacity, it talks about hours. So herein, there is difference in hours, but again, it is due to difference in days also. So let's revise the hours. So 30,000 hours in 25 days. So in 26 days, we were supposed to work for 31,200 hours. But in these 26 days, instead of 31,200 hours, we work for 33,000 hours. 1,800 hours we worked extra above our capacity. It's a good sign for the company. So that this variance will be favorable. 1,800 hours into the rate per hour. Because it is hours, so we'll be taking the rate per hour. So 45,000 divided by 30,000 hours. So the rate per hour will be 1.5. So this variance will be favorable. Last is efficiency variance. काम कितने घंटे में होना चाहिए था, कितने घंटे में हुआ. So 1 unit should take 1 hour. So 32,500 units should be manufactured in 32,500 hours. But we actually took 33,000 hours. 500 hours is my inefficiency. So it's a bad sign for the company. So this variance will be favorable. This variance will be adverse. So 500 hours into the rate per hour, that is 1.5 per hour. So 750 adverse. Further, calendar, capacity and efficiency will be the volume. The total of calendar, capacity and efficiency will be volume. Volume plus expenditure will be cost. You can recheck the total also. The total will match. So anyone else with any doubts or queries? This chapter is important. Examiner do ask question on this chapter. If you guys have any doubts or queries, do post, else I'll be posting few questions and I want every one of you guys to solve the question. Yes, Priyanshi, tell me.
Yes sir, good morning sir.
Very good morning, dear. Tell me.
सर मतलब हम इसे इस तरीके से भी सोच सकते हैं ना कि जैसे बजटेड यानी स्टैंडर्ड डेज, तो स्टैंडर्ड डेज इज 25 डेज और हमने 26, मतलब एक्चुअली हमने ज़्यादा टाइम ले लिया ज़्यादा यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस करने में. मतलब
वापस बोलेंगे आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं?
मतलब बजटेड मीन्स स्टैंडर्ड डेज इज 25 डेज और हम इसे इस तरीके से भी सोच सकते हैं कि हमने एक्चुअली 26 डेज ले लिए हैं ज़्यादा यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस करने में. मतलब हमने यूनिट ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस किए, दैट इज गुड थिंग, बट हमने डे भी तो एक्स्ट्रा लिया है ना.
I know, but when talking about volume variance जो है is a broader term. अब ये जो वॉल्यूम में वेरिएंस आया है किस वजह से आया है? डेज की वजह से आया है, आवर्स की वजह से आया है और एफिशिएंसी की वजह से आया है. इन तीनों की वजह से वॉल्यूम में वेरिएंस आया है. आई होप इट इज क्लियर नाउ.
हाँ, यस सर.
मैंने ये वॉल्यूम के 3 पार्ट्स किए. सी देयर इज अ ओवरऑल चेंज इन वॉल्यूम फ्रॉम 32,500. 30 से 32,500 का जो चेंज आया है वॉल्यूम में, क्या रीजन से? एक, we worked extra days. Second, we worked above our capacity. And the third thing is inefficiency or efficiency. I hope it is clear. वॉल्यूम में वेरिएंस यही 3 रीजन से आएगा. और तो कोई रीजन दिख रहा है आपको? If you can find any other reasons, I can put up one more new variance for you. Yes, Priyanshi? Okay, got it. See, okay, 1 second. There is one more query. See, again, these things are run by businessmen or production units or manufacturing units. So these reports are also prepared by the the company owners, not the, yes, they do recruit people to prepare this, but yes, all these are the diagnostic reports of the company from company's perspective, not employees' perspective, my dear. I hope it is clear, Mr. Parvez. Employee is concerned about his salary, that's it. But employer has to consider, has to take care of the entire business and run the show. I hope it is clear, Priyanshi, now. Richa Kumari, any doubts? Rohan Sahu, Meenu, Prem Kumar, Neeraj Patel, Pooja, anyone having any doubts? Because if I will ask, if I will pose the question, then I want correct answers from every one of you guys. Okay, Tanu Vishwakarma sir, why we divided 45,000 to 25? See, we have calculated 1 day. So day, we have to multiply it by standard rate per day. See, we have calculated 1 day. अब इसके ऊपर rate जो है apply क्या होगी per day होगी rather than per unit or per hour. So the rate per day is 1800 rupees per day. So that's why I have divided it. I hope it is clear, Tanu. Yes, Tanu. This I have done to calculate the rate per day. Okay. So fine. So guys, let's take a break of 15 minutes. I'll be back after 15 minutes with the remaining part of fixed overheads. Few more concepts need to be discussed on fixed overhead. So let's take a break of 15 minutes. I'll be back after 15 minutes. Welcome back, my friends. So I hope you guys are thorough with the concepts of fixed overhead. I've discussed each and every point in detail. So still, if you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can please post your queries. Yes, Tanu, that is the case. So now a question from my side for you guys. I want every one of you guys to solve the question and post your answers so that at least I can, I can see that, what exactly, you have understood from this session. So let's start with the question. I'm just putting up a straight away question without any additional point. So days were 25 and 23. 50,000 and 53,000 hours, 25,000 and 25,500 units, and overheads are 1 lakh and 1,35,000. So I request you guys to post your answers on this question. Start with fixed overhead cost variance. So waiting for your answers. What will be the fixed overhead cost variance? Waiting for your answers, guys. What will be fixed overhead cost variance? I want answer from every one of you guys. So let's see who answers first. So Rohan Sau has already posted the answer. So Rohan, your answer, please recheck. Okay, so Prem Kumar, please check the number of zeros. Rohan Sahu, please recheck your answer. So the first, I think Neeraj Patel is the first one to post correct answer, followed by Almas. Very good. Neeraj and Almas. Prem Kumar, please recheck your answer. Sneha Chawla, please recheck your answer. Priyanshi, very good. Your answer is correct. Richa Kumari, please post the final answer. You have posted absorbed overhead rather than the cost variance. Pooja, very good. Your answer is correct. Tanu Vishwakarma, you have posted absorbed overheads. I just want the final answer, Tanu. That is what will be fixed overhead cost variance. Meenu, very good. Prem Kumar, very good. Guys, few students are not posting adverse and favorable. So do post it is adverse or favorable. So very good. I think most of the students were able to solve the question. So Rohan, waiting for your answer. And Sneha, I want correct answer from you, Sneha and Rohan. Please post. Richa, post the final answer. Richa and Tanu, post the final answer. Okay, so very good, Richa. Answer is correct, but yes, it is adverse or favorable. Tanu, it is adverse or favorable. I just want complete answer, Richa and Tanu. And Rohan and Sneha, still waiting for the correct answer. I want each and every student. Very good, Richa. Tanu, what about it is? It is adverse or favorable? Okay, Rohan, now it is correct. Tanu, perfect. Richa, perfect. Sneha, still waiting for the correct answer from your end. Very good, Almas. So Almas has solved expenditure and volume. So those who are able to solve cost variance, please post answer on expenditure and volume. So very good, correct answer, Almas. Very good, Priyanshi. So when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, 1 lakh are my overheads. For how many units? 25,000 units. So for 25,500 units, how much? 1,02,000. However, my actual overheads are how much? 1,35,000. So it is 33,000 adverse. Expenditure variance, please post your answer. So Priyanshi answer is correct. Almas answer is correct. Meenu correct answer. Sunil correct answer. Prem Kumar very good correct answer. Both the answers are correct. Very good Tanu. The answers are correct. Pooja very good, but it is adverse or favorable. Do post the final answer. Richa still waiting for your answer. Almas, Parvez. Meenu, please recheck your volume variance. I think it is incorrect. So expenditure variance straight away 1 lakh minus 1,35,000. So it is 35,000 adverse. Next is fixed overhead volume variance. That is due to change in units. So 25,000 units we were supposed to manufacture, and the units we actually manufactured were 25,500. So 500 units extra we manufactured into the rate per unit. That is 1 lakh divided by 25,000. That is 4 per unit. So it will be 2,000 favorable. So now let me check everybody's answer. So now do post answer on calendar variance. So very good, Mr. Parvez. Sunil, very good. Surohan, very good. Expenditure, Richa, very good. Very good, Neeraj. Prem Kumar, very good. All the answers are correct. Almas, correct answer. Meenu, please recheck your answer. Rest everyone correct answer. Tanu Vishwakarma, it is 2,000 favorable, Tanu. I think still you are not thorough with the concept. Tanu, volume variance is favorable. Sunil, Rohan, very good correct answer. Mohammad Parvez, correct answer. Rohan, one second. Okay, no worries, Meenu. Now I want answers for calendar variance. I want answers from everyone for calendar variance. So for calendar variance, I think few students already posted the answer. So I think one second. Prem Kumar has posted the answer. So let me check Prem Kumar. Priyanshi Tak. Okay, so Prem Kumar, your answer is correct for calendar variance. Very good. Priyanshi, your answer is correct for calendar variance. Very good. Prem has already posted capacity. Tanu, it is adverse or favorable? Richa, it is adverse or favorable? Very good, Meenu, correct answer. Rohan Sahu, please recheck your answer. Almas, very good. Prem Kumar, very good. Pooja, please check the number of zeros. Neeraj Patel, very good. Meenu, very good. Sneha, very good. So I think, Richa, please recheck your calendar variance. Pooja, very good. Please recheck your calendar variance. And I think most of the students were able to answer it correctly. So Mr. Sunil Kumar, I'm waiting for your answers. You have not posted any answer. Rohan Sahu, now it is correct. Ms. Tanmozi and Mr. Sunil Kumar, waiting for your answer. Very good, Mr. Parvez, but it is adverse or favorable? Calculation is correct, but it is adverse or favorable, Mr. Parvez? It is adverse, Mr. Parvez. See guys, now calendar variance. We were supposed to work for 25 days, but we work only for 23 days, 2 days less than, whatever we expected, we work 2 days less. So here in 2 days is what my adverse into the rate per day, it is 4,000 per day. So this will be 8,000 adverse, not favorable, Mr. Parvez. Calendar variance is adverse. Okay. Now capacity variance. I want everyone to post answer on capacity variance. So I think Almas has already posted all the answers, capacity and efficiency. Prem Kumar has already posted the answer. So capacity variance, I've got different answers from all the students. I'm getting few answers, 14,000 favorable. I've got one student has posted 28,000 favorable. Rest all waiting for your answers. I'll be posting the correct answer, so don't worry. Tanu, please post capacity variance first. One girl is mentioning 28,000 adverse. Tanu, it is 8,000 adverse from your end, right? For capacity variance, right, Tanu? So I've got one more answer from one of the girls, 12,000 adverse. Tanu Vishwakarma has posted 8,000 adverse. I was expecting mistake at this part, so that's okay. Neeraj Patel, it is 14,000 favorable. Rest, anyone with any other opinion? I want everyone to calculate capacity variance. Rohan Sahu, 14,000 favorable. Neeraj Patel, 14,000 favorable. Meenu, 12,000 adverse. Tanu, 8,000 adverse. Pooja, 28,000 adverse. Neha Chawla, 14,000 favorable. Mr. Sunil Kumar, you have not posted the answer. Mr. Parvez, Almas has already posted all the answer. Now Meenu changed her opinion to 12,000 favorable. Anyone else with any other opinion? Richa, still waiting for your answer. Richa, you have not posted answer on capacity variance. I think you're not thorough with the concepts, Richa. Sunil Kumar is with 6,000. Edwards, one more answer. Anyone else with any other opinion? So let's start with capacity variance now. 50,000 hours in 25 days. $50,000 in 25 days. So actually we work for 23 days. So in 23 days, what was our capacity? Let me check now, everyone. Richa, you have not posted the answer on capacity variance. So 50,000 divided by 25 into 23. So my capacity was to work for 46,000 hours. I have the capacity to work for 46,000 hours in 23 days. But in these 23 days, I work for 53,000 hours. That is 7,000 hours above my capacity. I have the capacity to work for 46,000 hours, but I actually work for 53,000 hours. That is, we can say 7,000 hours I worked above my capacity. Into, since it is hours, so we will take the rate per hour, that is 1 lakh divided by 50,000. So it is 2 per hour. So the correct answer is 14,000 favorable. So Meenu, any doubts? So Pooja, please recheck. Anyone having any doubts? Rohan, very good. Your answer is correct. Priyanshi, your answer is correct. Neeraj Patel, your answer was correct. Sneha Chawla, your answer was correct. Priyanshi Tak, your answer was correct. Almas posted the answer first, so all the answers were correct, Almas. Very good. Prem Kumar, please recheck your calculation and rest. Everyone, please recheck your calculation. I hope you guys are thorough with this part. No worries, that's okay. That's okay. So I hope this part is clear to all because many students posted different answers. And anyone having any doubts in capacity variance, you guys can please post your queries. I hope it is clear now. Pooja, Sunil Kumar, Tanu. Any doubts, Tanu, Pooja, Sunil Kumar, because this is the correct answer. Okay, good. Next is efficiency variance. So waiting for the answers on efficiency variance now. Waiting for your answers now on efficiency variance. So I've got answer from Rohan. Prem Kumar. I've got answer from Sneha also. Please don't do the balancing figure part. Better do the calculation. I've got answer from Meenu also. Please don't calculate the balancing figure. Try to calculate the efficiency variance independently. Yes, I know, Rohan. No worries. That's okay. I've got answer from Tanu also. Yes, Priyanshi, waiting for your answer. Yes, Richa, Sunil, Pooja, Priyanshi, Neeraj, waiting for your answers. Mohammed Parvez. So I've got answer from Sunil Kumar also, Tanu Vishwakarma, Neeraj Patel. So let me solve efficiency variance also. So guys, do pay attention. See, 25,000 units, 50,000 hours. 25,000 units, 50,000 hours. So one unit, how many hours? 2 hours. So the actual units manufactured were 25,500 units. So this should be completed in 51,000 hours. But for 25,500 units, we actually took how many hours? 53,000 hours. That is 2,000 hours is my inefficiency. So this variance will be adverse and we'll be taking the rate per hour, that is 1 lakh divided by 50,000, that is 2. So this will be 4,000 adverse. So 4,000 adverse, 8,000 adverse, 12,000 adverse and 14,000 favorable, you will get 2,000 favorable. So it is 4,000 adverse. So very good, Richa. Very good, Pooja. Mohammed Parvez, please check your answer. That's okay, Priyanshi. I appreciate your efforts. That's okay. Tanu, I hope you are thorough with this part. Yes, Tanu. You posted 8,000 adverse. So I hope it is clear to you, Tanu. Sunil Kumar. I request you guys to at least copy the question and the solution so you can try to solve it again. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? I hope you guys are thorough with the concepts of fixed overhead variances. We are done with material variances, labor variances, fixed overhead. Yes, most of the part we have finished, but still few points need to be discussed. So we'll be discussing these points in the coming session. So still, if you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can please post your queries. Again, I mentioned also there are no formulas in standard costing. I mean, many students try. Many students have already learned this chapter before by using formulas, but I still suggest don't use formulas. Try to memorize the concepts, understand what the question is asking, understand why these variances, why we are doing adverse, why we are doing favorable. You will love this chapter, and you'll be able to score good marks from this chapter. Okay, Richa Kumari, sir, please explain calendar variance again. So see, Richa, 25 days we were supposed to work, but we work for 23 days only. 2 days less than what we expected. So we were supposed to work for 25 days, but we actually work for 23 days. That is 2 days less than what we expected. Into, since it is days, so we'll be taking the rate per day. That is 1 lakh divided by 25,000. Sorry, 25. 1 lakh divided by 25. So my rate per day is 4,000. So 4,000 into 2, 8,000. This will be adverse because the actual days are less than expected days. I hope it is clear, Richa, now. Great. Anyone else with any conceptual queries? Because few students, see, I was damn sure that all the students will post correct answer till here. But I was not sure that the students will be getting answer at these 2 points. So anyways, most of the students still posted correct answer. So I appreciate your efforts, and it's very good, guys, that you are able to solve the question in one go. But still, few were not able to. But just try to memorize what I have discussed. Just try to understand what I have explained. I have written all the concepts over the board. So do prepare your notes and try to learn. Try to learn the concepts and then try to solve the question. You'll be able to solve the question very easily. Tanu Vishwakarma, sir, please explain efficiency variance once again. एफिशिएंसी वेरिएंस क्या बोलता है कि काम कितने घंटे में होना चाहिए था और कितना घंटे लिए. So see, 25,000 units should be completed in 50,000 hours. So one unit should be completed in how many hours? 2 hours. 25,000 units, 50,000 hours. One unit should take 2 hours. So my actual production is how much? 25,500. So उसको बनाने में कितने hours लगने चाहिए? 25,500 units should take 51,000 hours. One unit, 2 hours. 2 hours. So cross multiplication rule. 1 unit, 2 hours. So 25,500 units, 51,000 hours. But instead of 51,000 hours, we use 53,000 hours. 2,000 hours is my inefficiency. So 2,000 hours is my inefficiency into the rate per hour, you will get the variance. I'll be discussing few more questions in the coming session. So have some patience. Don't worry, Pooja. I'll be giving, you can refer study material for few questions. But yes, I just want to complete the things and then I'll be giving you bulk of homework. So don't worry, I'll be posting few questions also for the chapters what I have discussed. That is process costing, service costing. So don't worry, give me some time. I'll be posting variety of questions on every chapter. Don't worry, guys. Tanu Vishwakarma. Yes, I'll be giving homework. Just give me a minute. Tanu Vishwakarma, what is the point? What is the doubt? See, it is the rate per hour. Rupees 2 is the rate per hour. That is 1 lakh divided by 50,000 hour. So let me give homework, at least few questions I want you to try. I'll be giving straight questions only. You can solve practical question number 9. Practical question number 9, practical question number 12. Practical question number 9 and 12. And illustration number 13, practical question number 9, 12, and illustration number 13. Try to solve it. You'll be able to solve easily. Don't worry, guys. Solve these 3 questions in the coming session. We'll finish this chapter. We'll be discussing variety of questions because variable overhead variance will take hardly 5 minutes to discuss. So it's like 15-20 minutes. It will be the concept class. Rest for the remaining 2 hours. We'll be discussing all the variety of problems. So don't worry, guys. These are the 3 questions that you have to solve. Let's meet up on Thursday and finish off this chapter. Till then, take care of yourself. Again, do revise, prepare your notes. See, don't refer this notes, that notes. Prepare your own notes when it comes to the concepts. Write your concepts in your notebook. Try to memorize the concepts and try to solve questions in writing. I mean, no one can stop you from scoring good marks in costing at least. So, thank you so much, guys, for your time, patience, and for active participation in the session. God bless you guys. See you on Thursday, and we will finish up the chapter on Thursday. Take care. Thank you so much. Edwin, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.